live.
Woohoo! Welcome back, everybody, to the Witchwood Gambit. And we're by the dice. I'm Liz Sissio. I will be the storyteller for the evening. So before we get started, does anybody have any announcements?
Not right now. I think we've, over the last couple of days, unless anybody else wants to chime in with anything, we've made enough announcements to choke a mule in the last 48 hours.
We probably have. It's been an interesting time in the world of tabletop role-playing games. I have a couple of announcements. First, another great big shout out to Fesliyan Studios for putting out great royalty-free music. That is what I use. Content creators produce original free content, and they are the life project of small-time projects like this one. So, great big shout out, much gratitude to Fesliyan Studios. And you can find the link to the video that'll be the music that runs during the bio break in the description below. And thinking of content creators, the world of TTRPGs would not be what it is today without the passionate work of independent artists, writers, developers, and creators. And during this entirely upsetting time in the world of Dungeons & Dragons players, I would like to make it clear that we here at By the Dice fully support the third-party content creators. It will not be easy to change the gaming system for the Witchwood Gambit, but I do want to be certain to change it only once and to change it to a system that will work very well for the world and the type of storytelling I want to do. So please do be patient with me while I carefully evaluate the options and so that we can convert the story as best we can. So that gets announcements out of the way. Go ahead.
I did think of something.
Oh, lovely. Go right ahead.
In regards to gaming systems, the transition that we're all having to muddle our way through the best we can, my solution is that there are some things that I really do not like about the current mechanics that are not really working out for the world that I've built and for the world that everybody else has. So I'm planning on taking some inspiration from some other mechanics. I'm very partial to L5R and some parts of the Rifts mechanic, as well as some parts of the World of Darkness mechanics. And since mechanics are not trademarked, those I will be using to kind of build my own system of immense adventuring fuckery, as it were. And I'm planning on making the system in and of itself, at least until I get all the bugs worked out, basically free as an alpha beta for people who subscribe to us, because they'd have to know about us in order to find the link, in order to find where I put the information in the first bloody place.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that.
All
Basically,
right.
because I'd love to hear you all's feedback on how it runs for you and where you find problems and bugs. It's literally going to be like alpha and beta testing a MMO only on a tabletop.
Yeah. So quite a bit of homebrew going on over here. Please be patient while we are under construction, which we were anyway. This just adds a layer. All right. So without further ado, everybody, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Witchwood Gambit. So this is a feather in the wind. And if you will all recall, at our exit during last session, the Prince Percival Windermere, had been hurried off by some other Cavaliers into a small doorway in the ramparts, and you are all left shivering in the cold at the gates with a couple of the gate guards. And one of them comes up to you, chattering teeth, holding his coat as tight around him as he can. The wind is really starting to pick up. It's about 11:30 at night, and it is chilly tonight. You can definitely see your breath.
Reach over, cast Produce Flame right near him to help him warm up a little bit.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. Thank you kindly.
And keep us warm while we're at it.
You'll be needing to report to Captain Candor at once, of course, for the debriefing. He's up in his office. He requested you all join him without delay. Oh, thank you, sir.
Look at you got someplace I could leave this.
Oh yeah, the brazier right there.
Toss it over into that. I literally just toss it into the brazier from maybe 6 inches away, and well, then shadowy.
And don't worry about the horses, sir. I'll have Larry send them to the stables. Just get yourself to Captain Candor's office as quick as you can.
All right then. Away we go.
So the snow is crunching beneath your feet. It's actually about half a mile from the city gate. It's about a half a mile from the city gate to the entrance to the Cavalier compound, and you walk up the rickety wooden steps that lead onto this wooden sort of walkway balcony, and the first door on the right is Captain Candor's office. It's an old wooden door. As soon as you open it, it creaks, and you can tell it's just been here forever and ever and ever. But the room inside is, in spite of the, very timber sort of like the outward appearance of this building looks like it's just falling apart. But inside, the walls are actually plastered. There's rugs on the, very well woven rugs on the stone floor. There's a fireplace off on the left wall. On the right wall, there's floor to ceiling bookshelves. There's tables and desks and chests, and they're just absolutely all of them piled high with missives and maps and scrolls and records and all sorts of things. The place is kind of a mess. And at the back of the room is Captain Candor's desk, which you recognize from before. It is just as messy now, just stacked high with papers. It sits in front of the one tiny window in this whole room. It's like this little rounded thing at the top. It's got the crisscrosses. It's so narrow that it barely lets any light in at all. And Captain Candor is actually sitting in his chair this time, furiously writing. And he looks up as soon as you guys walk in. Well, you made it back. That's a good sign. Officially, you've been assigned to the Astrowild Manor in Candleton. That's where your quarters will be. Your servants moved in already. So then they aired the house, and it should be good for tonight. Prince made it back safely, obviously. But that was only the bulk of your mission. Unfortunately, word has already arrived. You were most definitely seen. And this could cause problems for us in the future. So, I suppose you should probably, and at this point, his door bursts wide open. And a very young cadet comes bursting into the office. Captain! Captain! His eyes are wide. He looks pale. He's obviously freezing, but you can tell he's as frightened as he is cold. What is it, Rory? Captain, it's Commander Hansel. This morning he received a missive from the Rose Palace. He said nothing to me, of course, but he grabbed a satchel and he left right away. Well, that's generally what one does when one is summoned to the palace. Candor snaps wearily. Yes, sir. It's just that, out with it, man. Well, it's just that was this morning, sir. It's midnight now, and a messenger just came to his rooms to fetch him. He never arrived at the palace, sir, and he's nowhere on the grounds. He's nowhere to be found in the compound at all.
So much for sleep.
Captain Candor's demeanor changes instantly. He snaps to attention. This obviously bothers him deeply. Wake the Cavaliers immediately, including all recruits. We'll search the city top to bottom, every last one of them, until he's found. And then he turns to all of you. Search the timbers. Commander Hansel and his family has family there. Perhaps they've seen him. Dismissed.
Oh, I wanted to go to the
Yes,
timbers
sir.
tonight anyway. I could do for a drink in a pub.
I can get some information.
That's what I'm thinking. So,
And I'll stand down out of your way for this one. I mean, that is a little bit more your jurisdiction.
come on, we'll go find a pub in Cheapside and get some things done.
Alright.
Maybe some people too.
I don't know, what do you think over there?
I'm thinking we should go. I could always use a drink. And information sounds good.
So our boss tells us that we are to go to work, and the lot of you can think about is drinking.
At
And
this
the
point,
bachelor.
a mossy green arm wraps around your shoulder and lays up very kindly and gently on you. My dear friend, you will be amazed the amount of information that one can drudge up with a few pints.
Are we going in uniform or not?
Well,
Didn't tell us not to.
I'm liable to be recognized anyway. I
You
might
mean
as well
I'm
wear
to
my uniform.
change? I think not.
Are you kidding me?
Alright.
I'm not gonna waste my time.
I don't have to worry about it. They know I just graduated. They know me in Cheapside, so
The timbers.
in the down in the timbers, they'd know my face. So ain't no point in trying to hide it.
All right. So you take off to search the timbers, which are right over there. Yeah. The timbers is getting near the port of the city. It's a bunch of old wooden buildings, quite tall, because instead of building outward, they've been building upward for some time. So you'll find like houses and shops all stacked sort of on top of each other. Long rows of these old wooden buildings with stairs kind of going up and down in every damn direction. And as you begin to search the streets and alleys of the area, you hear a scream from right about here. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! What happened?
Make our way over
I'm
there.
hot footing it.
Follow, keeping to the back of the pack where myself should in these situations.
Right.
Me in my natural way, chest forward, head high, lance at the ready, just hot footing.
How about you, Dorian?
I'm gonna take and start heading that way as quick as I can, but I'm gonna go in stealth.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
I like stealth.
And you, Teddy?
I'm stealth, but try and raise Caritas there.
Roll a stealth and athletics check.
How are you handling
How about
this
you?
game?
I got a 27.
I just
Beautiful.
move towards the sound quickly, but not too hastily.
Okay.
I got a 22 for stealth. And I got
9.
Yep, I got a 9 for the athletics.
The streets are so narrow, and your sister clearly doesn't care how much noise or, the fact that she's walking very clearly down the middle of the road means that she's moving much faster than you. You do manage to stay hidden the entire time, but you did not catch up to her at any point.
I try to keep eyes on the rogues while I'm going.
Roll a perception check.
Is that one on my list of I'll be okay? Yes, thank God. Okay. I'm going to try and trust you. If you fuck
What
up, you're
was your
going to
move?
jail.
27.
27?
Kind of.
17.
No, you don't see either of them.
Well, it didn't natural one, so it gets to live. All right,
Okay.
so like I said, I try to keep eyes, lose them very quickly, and keep as many party members as I can in view at any given time.
Well, I'm certainly doing nothing to be out of view.
Oh yeah, you're easy to follow. Just follow the big shiny loud thing down the street from a reasonable distance.
So you hastily make your way through the alleys to the sound of the woman's shrieking voice, and as soon as she sees you, she screams again, "I didn't see nothing, my lords!" And she goes tearing off down the street, and on the ground, on the cobble, kind of slumped up against a building, you find the bruised and bleeding and pretty broken, but very much alive body of Commander Hansel. He's a half elf, and it's very clear that he has been stabbed at least once. He's got, his lips are swollen and bleeding. He's got a bloody nose. He's got a black eye forming. He's clearly had the bejesus beaten out of him.
Walk over, cast healing word. It's like, you'll be fine, my lord. Stabilize his wounds, staunch his bleeding.
Okay, roll for
Let me find
how many hit points he gets.
Yeah. Right to the spell section at least. Okay, so it's only 1d4, but it's better than it's 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifiers. So that could work out to his benefit. 1d4 plus 5. 9.
9.
And as I heal him, I'll use my bonus action to use Hidden Step and become invisible, and take off at full pace down the street behind her to find out where she's going.
Having an idea
Or
of what you're doing, but not knowing because you're invisible, and I'm not trying to see you. I have an idea of what he just did. Would you please kindly follow suit?
I just am already following.
Okay.
I too am going to use. I'm going to use 9 points from my lay on hands healing pool.
Okay. The stab wound in his side very clearly starts healing almost immediately as the two of you cast your spells. His nose stops bleeding, and his lips are still cut up and swollen, and he clearly still looks beat up, but he's no longer spitting blood, so there's that. My satchel. I took my satchel. It was the Bedlam boys. I recognized them. They even checked. They checked to see that it was there. Normally, they're just thugs, you know. Shaking down residents for protection money, that sort of thing. They must be paid by somebody else. This is way above them. You'll find them in the Tin Shine Tavern. Nori has to get his drink on after a fight. And Will and Vin, they'll want to gamble. If you hurry, you catch up to them before they can pass my satchel on to whoever hired them to steal it. Retrieve the quill. Bring it to the Queen. And with that, he passes out from the pain.
Oh, I'm not
And-
there.
Am I still within earshot?
No, only the three that stayed. And just as he passes out, 3 other Cavaliers from the Unicorn Brigade round the corner, and they see him instantly. Commander Hansel! Commander Hansel!
I'm afraid he's fallen unconscious, but he has had some healing done. He'll need medical care immediately.
Oh, thank you, Caritas. Thank you. We'll get him on a stretcher immediately.
And
one of them blows up a whistle.
we'll go deal with this.
A whistle. Medic! Medic! And anybody who sticks around sees medics come from pick him up on a stretcher. They'll take him back to the hospital.
Well, I'm headed to catch up with the Bedlam boys.
And roll a investigation check to figure out where she disappeared.
Yep, not me.
17.
Okay. So she went through a door, and when you walk through the door, it is a large, like warehouse, and you can see the back door is still swinging open. So she clearly ran through there.
Follow through the back door and try to time it so that I don't offset the swinging of the door.
Okay. That's fine. You do that all right. As you come out the back side, there's an alley. And you look to the left and the right. There don't appear to be any doors other than this one down this alley, but you don't see her at all.
Are there any rodents or anything like that around?
Not immediately noticeable. There are some bats in the air.
That'll work. I'm going to take a deep breath and concentrate for a second and try and communicate an urgent need to the bats that I need to go using that, using Listen to Nature to find out if they have any impression of which direction she went.
The bats are very much hungry and in search of mosquitoes, which are rather scarce.
Oh, this would have been something that...
Very scarce this time of year. And so they noticed only that people have been, down in the streets, but they weren't paying attention to any particular one of them.
Is there anything that looks like it's been turned or moved hastily because of the condition of the streets as she was turning?
Roll an investigation check.
Would that be investigation or perception?
Perception.
Well, it's an 11 either way, so...
It's hard to say. The fog, the mist, the icy air doesn't leave a lot of impressions of anything happening down the street. Your instincts suggest she may have gone left, but you don't actually have any clear evidence of that. At this point, Teddy, you have actually caught up to Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see me though.
No, but if you have followed the same trail that he followed, then you would also be standing near or at the back door to the warehouse, which you also would have noticed was swinging open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go through, try not to upset the door so that to more easily stay stealthy. Because I was more so trying to follow her because Darby, I can't stealth.
Right.
And so I wanna. So I go through the door, and then in the alley, I want to investigate or on the other side of the door, I want to do an investigation for any hidden doors.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
was a 9.
You did not
Three.
find, you do not see any evidence of hidden doors or trapdoors, either in the walls or the streets. You are near the canal. I mean, it's possible she jumped into the canal and swam away. You can't actually see any evidence of her past this point.
Yes. So, like, to walk forward, I would either choose to go left or go right.
Yes.
Unless
you feel like tipping yourself into the canal, sure.
Can I specifically like check? Like, I want to first before I choose a direction, I want to peek my head over the canal and see if there's like a door right at the edge.
There is a storm grate, but it doesn't look like it's big enough for a person to go through. Other than that, there's no evidence of a door or any kind of real underground structure at this point in the canal anyway.
Okay.
What would I know, like in the area, since I spend a lot of time here helping people with their gardens and stuff like that, what is in the area as far as local things closest to me?
So this is actually the warehouse district where they process a lot of, like, the gunny sacks that fruit and produce come in, from other places. The sacks that stuff comes in are actually shipped to some of these warehouses and repurposed to make clothing, bedding, other sacks, canvas, all sorts of things of that nature.
Are there any like public houses or anything in the very near vicinity here since we're near a dockside?
Closest public house to you is Tin Shine Tavern, which is back up the street the way you came a little bit and sort of right over here.
Okay, so where are we at, give or take, right now?
You guys are at this warehouse here near the canal. And the rest of the group would have been headed up the street to Tin Shine Tavern, and you guys will have arrived right about now.
So, keep the invisibility up, turn around, start making splashing noises in the puddles as I go, though, and walk, like, at least for the first 100 yards, and start headed towards Tin Shine.
What's your passive perception?
Past alert. +2? Oh, passive is a 12.
Okay. You do see clearly fairly massive footsteps splash into a couple of puddles right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the door, in spite of your best efforts, that back door that you both snuck through, it actually does kind of swing a little bit as the sort of air current of your body passes through.
Okay.
Wasn't trying to hide this time. So.
I chuckle at them and I remember that the tavern is just down the street and be like, that bitch doubled back.
Okay.
And that's where I head.
Okay. So you guys make your way to Tin Shine Tavern. And for the rest of you who have arrived there, everybody here is familiar with this place by reputation alone. Even you probably would not have ever actually gone in here. Neither of you would have likely ever gone. This is a den of some of the worst people ever. It is called Tin Shine because the booze here is so bad that you can buy it with a tin piece. This is absolutely the worst pub in town.
Tin is less than copper.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as you walk through the door, It's smoky. Clearly nobody's cleaned the fireplace, the flue out in the fireplace in this place in kind of a while, because there's almost as much smoke as fire sort of billowing from the fireplace. And it's very rowdy, it's very loud. People are slamming their fists on the table, and it's kind of maybe a brawl kind of starting to start by the bar. But everybody go ahead and look around the room. Everybody who's here, which the two of you will be here in just a moment more. But everybody else go ahead and roll a perception check. That's you two. A perception check.
That's a natural 20.
Beautiful.
Is it passive perception?
No, just regular.
We're total
Roll a
22.
D20.
Apparently I'm blind as shit. I got an 8.
Okay.
17.
Okay. So, Dorian, you're distracted by the very loud sounds, the obnoxiously pungent smell of sweat and piss and bad booze and bad beer. But the two of you very easily spy the Bedlam boy sitting at a table in a corner. One of them is holding his nose like this, and another one keeps, like, smacking the back of his own head. And if you've ever seen four people who have clearly had their asses whooped, it's these four people. They're kind of like, they've got their tankards, but they're not even drinking. They're just, another one of them is holding his arm, and they're sort of just groaning and rocking in their chairs. And right about now, the two of you arrive also. So go ahead and roll a perception check.
That would be a natural 1.
You find this place as loud and obnoxious, like,
And it smells like a manure pile.
yeah. You also are somewhat distracted by the drama going on over near the bar. What'd you roll?
16 plus 2 is 18.
Okay, and you also catch the Bedlam boys in the corner right away.
Can I at least see her?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you can,
I haven't. I'm still a transparent object.
yeah, I know, but the three of them are in front of you as well, and actually, for that matter, I guess, no, you'd be right behind him.
I'm still in stealth. Good luck seeing me.
You've walked into a very crowded building. If you want to stay incognito, go ahead and please roll another stealth check.
Dang.
No.
Go ahead and roll that again.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, you're not stealthed anymore.
It's a 12.
Hmm.
Oh,
8 plus
okay.
4 is 12.
8 plus 4 is 12.
I got a 23.
Okay, you guys are both stealth still.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
So what do you guys do? You have your quarry cornered in the corner of the tavern.
I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow the people who I can notice in the crowd from our group because they'd stand out. But beyond that, I'm going to try and make myself as unnoticeable as possible.
It's the one with the
So-
clearly broken nose.
So are you still invisible?
Yes, but I'm going to do my damnedest to not bump into anybody since it's a crowded place.
Roll an acrobatics check. What were you saying?
The one with
13.
the clearly broken nose. Would I be able to identify him as somewhat of the ringleader of the group?
Character sheet. Want to see something fast. It's gonna be a weird way to do this, but okay. Roll an insight check.
That would be a total of 14.
Okay, so you do notice who the apparent current ringleader is, but it's not the guy holding his nose. It's the guy holding his arm.
Alright. For a bit of shock and awe, I am going to grab him by his arm.
Oi! Oi! Oi!
But
Oi!
in the same motion, I am using my last 6 points of lay on hands to give him 6 hit points back to heal his arm.
Oi! 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 Oh! Oh, Cavaliers! Oh, bugger! Oh,
And
I
I'm the
knew
one
this
you
was
want
too much of a job for us.
and I'm the one you wanted to run into.
ah,
And my holy symbol is clearly evident.
oi! Oi! We don't have it anymore.
Who hired you, and where did it go?
Oh, I don't know who hires us.
I take a gold out of my pouch and set it on the table. Who hired you,
Look,
and where did it go?
look. We ain't seen our boss all afternoon. We took the satchel. We made sure the quill was inside it, like we were told. Fucking hell, you guys are well trained. Anyway, we came here. We gave it to Reva.
Okay.
He already took it. I don't know who hired him. That's how it works. He didn't tell us.
Alright, keep your gold, and I won't re-break your arm.
Oh,
Get your drinking.
I might.
I step back.
anybody else want to do anything
That's
to
enough
these
information for me.
ruffians?
I move over behind him, staying invisible. As long as I don't attack or touch him, I stay that way. Oh, by the way, it was 13 on the acrobatics.
You had a couple of close calls, but you managed to slip through basically unnoticed. A couple of people were like, what? But
Lean
nobody
down
really
and
noticed
stay
anything.
just far enough away that if he turns his head trying to figure out what's going on, he won't bump into me.
Okay.
And whisper in his ear, "Hey,
Boy!
that everything that you're talking about? There's more of us here than just the two that you talked to.
Oh, I'm telling the truth, though. I'm telling the truth.
Where's Reaver?
I don't know where
Where
Reva
does he
is.
hide?
It's not how it works. It's,
How do you get a hold of him?
he gets a hold of us right here.
And what would you say if you don't answer me with a more exemplary? I'm gonna string you up from the ceiling with a thorn whip and use you for a pinata.
I swear, I don't know.
I can
It
always
came
re-break
here.
that arm.
You
You
came
can
here.
hear this, but you can't see where it's coming
I know.
from.
But I kind of got an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
He came here. And he picked up the satchel. He hadn't even paid us yet.
When
So-
are you picking up your pay?
No, he'll bring it back when he's
When?
tonight.
What time?
I don't know. Right before dawn, I would guess.
Where?
Here, right here.
Cool. You'll be here.
How much are you being paid for this?
Not as much as all this trouble. Only 30 silver to pass between us.
Alright, there's 20 gold in it if you hand him to us when he comes.
I can do that.
10 up front.
He
How
looks
many people are in the group?
at,
4.
5.
Five.
Five.
5?
It's 2 gold.
Oh, you mean in the Bedlam Boys? There's
Yeah.
4 Bedlam Boys.
4.
Five
So
of you.
that'd be 5 gold.
5 gold apiece.
Yep, I put 10 up front.
I'll double it. Make it 10.
Holy shit, boys. Maybe this was worth the trouble after all.
About this time, I heard crafts and vines starting to creep up through the floorboards around his ankles.
Just a little bit of scare tactic.
No, I get it. You're gonna wire him to his chair, right?
And
I'm just going to lash his ankles, or actually no, I'm going to use it to bind his boots together through the straps.
And if you're thinking about double crossing us, just remember how easy it was for us to find you this first time.
Are they sitting down still at the table?
Yes, they are.
I'm going to find a spot in a back corner that looks like it's only being used to store stuff that's gained a lot of dust. And I'm just going to sit there.
So would Would throwing my, like, if I were to throw my dagger into the table in front of them, would that take me out of stealth?
Yes, it would.
Okay, then yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm good.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so you went and sat at a table?
No, I'm not sitting at a table. What is there around the room that looks like a dingy, dusty corner that nobody ever uses?
There isn't. This place is fully packed nightly.
Rafters, things of that nature.
Not really. It's not that complicated of a building. It's just an old timber one-room bar.
Okay, outhouse, outback, or in-house services?
There's an outhouse out back, yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Alright,
Um,
so, perfect. I'm going to go out the back, into the outhouse, which is probably the most disgusting thing on earth. And I'm going to, at least that's what I'm picturing, and I'm going to change into commoner's clothes, go back in, and sit down at their table with a pitcher.
Similarly, but mostly because I don't have my gear on me. Is this the kind of place where the cook and barkeep are one and the same and they live on site?
No. In that they don't live on site and there is a cook, a barkeep, and several wenches.
Okay. I'm going to go to the barkeep and ask to speak to the cook.
Oh, okay.
Pardon me, and I'll hold up 2 silver and say, can I please have a word with your cook?
Sure. I'll take your orders generally, but what do you want him for?
I would like to buy an outfit off of him.
He's a cook, not a tailor.
Yeah, I need some of his clothes.
Oh, they.
I don't own anything that blends well in this part of town. I hate to admit it.
Good grief. All right, I'll go get him. What are the rest of you doing?
I am still by the door, and I wanted to look to see if I saw the maid in the crowd. The lady who found the
The woman we were chasing.
yeah.
Captain
The one.
Ansel.
Roll a perception check.
I'm gonna buy clothes off the cook.
Yeah, because we're all still in uniform.
Would be an 11.
It's very crowded in here, and you manage to look pretty carefully at pretty much every single face in the bar, but she does not appear to be in here at all. How about you, Dorian? What are you doing?
Do I know what she's doing?
What? Who is doing?
I'm in stealth still.
Teddy?
No. No, you don't.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna go over into a corner and just chill in the shadows for safekeeping.
Are you going over near, where Darby is?
I don't know where Darby is. Darby's in the
I can't.
No,
No, I'm
Darby
not.
came
I
out of
came
the-
back wearing commoner's clothes in the back door from the outhouse and sat down with the chair backwards at the table and a pitcher
Oh, I thought you were still invisible.
of really shitty booze.
I'm gonna stay within earshot.
Okay.
I'm just changing into a regular warlock's robe and sitting down.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm still in stealth. So there's no point in me changing.
So are you sitting down with
Yes.
Darby? Okay.
Yes.
The point is to not be dressed in school clothes or Cavaliers uniforms.
So if he sees too many Cavaliers, it might tip him off.
So the cook comes out and says, "Hello, miss. Can I help you?"
Hi, and another 2 silver. Have you got a change of clothes? Something you would fit a new cook with?
Oh, well, sure. We have a spare.
Preferably unwashed.
We have a spare wench uniform in the back, of course.
Cool, would this be enough to own it?
Of course, of course. Thank you, my lady. And he scurries off to the back, and he brings you rather dingy. Like comes off the shoulders. It's a little bit body. It's
It's a wench's uniform.
a winch's uniform.
I'm, for the first time in what Teddy will probably think ever, going to untie my hair from the tight bun I keep it in and let it fall around my shoulders and get into this uniform sans apron
Okay.
and find a spot.
I clasp my hand over my
Are you
mouth
sitting?
to-
Are you sitting with them, or are you sitting with somebody else?
I am going to just find a spot on the wall and just, I'm afraid to drink anything here, so I'm just sitting and sulking. Trying to look like I'm sulking.
All right. Well, everybody roll me a d20.
17.
I'm number one.
I got two.
Do you need the jail?
1.
Nope, different
Two.
die.
No, I got a nat one also.
Oh, you got on that one also.
I got an 18.
Got an 18,
18.
18,
17.
17. Were you two sitting together?
Yes, we're sitting at the
Okay.
table with the dummies.
Okay. So when the as you're sitting there at the table, an orc wench comes up to you with your pitcher. Oi. Oi, you be Cavaliers, right?
Does it look like it?
Well, I mean, you're rather handsome. Look, I heard
It's all
you.
the farm work, love. All the farm work.
I heard you asking about Reva. He's a nasty one, you know. Grabs the girl's bones, says lewd things. That poor dog of his. He's got a little puppy, you know. Fucking kicks it all the time. Not a very nice man. Anyway, look, he was in here. He took off about 20 minutes before you got here. The thing is, that little dog of his, beetles everywhere, all over the floor. Anyway, if you follow the piddle, I'm sure it'll lead you right to him.
Gotta follow the smell of dog, they say.
I'm just saying.
Reach into my glass, or reach into my pocket, and pull out a couple of silver pieces and put them in her cleavage. Swat her on the ass and walk out the door.
Thank you, my lord.
I, however, am going to linger.
Don't say a word and just look down. And when I get about and dip around the corner, I'm going to use wild shape to turn into a bloodhound.
Excellent.
As I would not know what dog urine smells like, I'm going to linger here at the bar and wait for Weaver to return and to be handed off to me by the Bedlam boys.
I'm going to do the typical, okay, has anybody ever seen a bloodhound gallop in this group?
Yes.
I'm going to come galloping back into the pub and go sit at and grab you by the bottom of your skirt hem and start trying to drag you out the door. You would notice a tiny bit of a green tinge right at the tufts of the ears to the dog.
Well, aren't you a pretty boy? But no.
Tugs harder. You hear the skirt hem ripping a little.
Quick dagger move and cuts the hem and it goes with you.
Go to the next party member and start tugging at them.
Who?
It'd probably be me, because
yeah.
I've been sitting at the
Yeah,
table the whole
walk
time.
over to him, lick his hand, grab the hem of your shirt and start tugging at you.
I think we need to go.
I get what our dear friend Darby is trying to communicate from this shape, but I have paid for a product. I'm going to wait for it. This is very unsuited to me. If anything, I'm going to be a bit of a nuisance to this.
Start
particular-
whining.
If anything, I'd be a bit of a nuisance to this particular section of the mission.
Whine even louder.
I don't know
Roll a
where you.
persuasion against your wisdom.
I'm genuinely insecure. My wisdom came out to.
I've got an 8.
Okay, I came out to an 18.
Well, didn't work.
I'm genuinely concerned about my ability to perform on this particular issue.
So if I speak, will I come out of stealth?
Yes.
Yes.
Even if it's a whisper?
Yes.
Yep.
Fuck.
Well, I didn't say no.
No. Anybody else joining?
Not to mention, you would have heard that wench talking to me.
Exactly.
Anybody else
And I saw
joining
you
Darby?
get up and leave.
I'll follow Darby.
I saw Darby leave the first time and double back in. So as Darby's doubling back in, I see that Caritas is staunch about staying here. So I just walk outside and very loudly whistle and chuckle at myself for whistling at Darby in.
You hear a loud little yip, and he just gallops out the door.
You absolutely would have seen my nose flaring in deep insecurity of, if I go, I'm gonna mess that up. I'll wait here. The boys will hand him to me when he gets here.
I know you are my twin. I know you well enough that if you've committed money to something, you're gonna sit around until I drag you away or the thing happens or I kill it.
Okay, so everybody else is following Darby in Bloodhound form, yes? Darby, roll a nature check with advantage.
Try and smell out the puppy.
You're following Puppy Pebble.
Yep, to smell out where the puppy is. 14.
Excellent.
Well, after whistling, I kind of stand back into the shadow of the building and try and go back into stealth.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
And I'm
Stay
obviously doing the bloodhound thing, nose to the ground,
It
ears
bounced on a
scooping
lot of
smell.
things, but it was a 1.
Yeah, usually if it bounces.
So in trying to keep up with Darby, who is bloodhounding down the street,
You're
he's
joking, I
moving
don't roll.
very, very quickly, and it's very hard to stay stealthed at all. How about you, Pudgy? Go ahead and roll a stealth check to stay stealth.
At least you got a pitcher to drink with those boys at the table.
I won't be drinking, but I
I
will
got
be
a
paying for their
23.
booze for a bit.
All right.
Am I still in stealth?
You are.
Sweet.
So Darby begins to lead the three of you through the narrow, dark, and dirty alleys of the Timbers until the dense, overcrowded quarter begins to fall away. The buildings in this part of town, you're headed off this way, basically off the map.
Okay.
The buildings in this part of town become more and more decrepit as you move through. They become more sparse. It's obvious that there are still some shops and homes through here, but a lot of the buildings are abandoned. And the further you move back towards this ancient quarter of the city, the more sparse they get, the more decay you see. The trees out here, there used to be fruit trees, there used to be orchards, that much is obvious, but now there's only a few still living. They're unpruned, they're wild. What used to be gardens are overgrown and tangled. Ivy climbs through the stone and timber of the walls of the remaining buildings. And the clean cobble road that existed in most of Carrington to Gale is also becoming just more broken up. There's grass growing through it, there's weeds growing through it. You're seeing fewer and fewer cobbles until at last it actually gives away completely and you are left standing kind of at the edge of a sort of moorish area. There's large grassland in front of you. It's very marshy. There's like tangles of old oak and willow trees dotting the landscape. And way off in the distance, you can see the old mausoleum. Everybody roll a history check.
Rolling.
Natural 20. Total of 21.
Jesus, 16 plus 5 is 21.
21.
11.
Parents did as well in the matter of education.
Paid attention.
What are we
in
going
all the
for?
classes that matter.
History.
History. 22.
So, you've never seen this building before. You seem to remember hearing about it in studies at some point, but you can't even quite remember its name. However, the rest of you recognize the building off in the distance as the old Mausoleum of Lilies. Once, hundreds of years ago, it was a tomb for one of the very first queens of Erelon. Now it is all but forgotten, sitting at the very edge of what's considered the Cairn-Tintagel border. Everything in the moors beyond that mausoleum is, kind of off into the countryside and not considered Cairn-Tintagel proper. One of the things that you can just barely see as you peer out into the frosty darkness is that there appears to be a lamp or some type of light or candle flickering through the two narrow windows on either side of the door to the mausoleum. It's actually so dark and so far away you can't actually see the doors or windows themselves, but you can see the light flickering through them.
Oh, what do I smell?
You can smell the dog pee, but it is starting to fade. It's getting later at night now. The dew is starting to fall, and that's beginning to mask the scent. However, as near as you can tell, the trail of puppy pee goes straight towards the mausoleum.
Start, making my way, slowing down a bit and making my way towards the mausoleum and keeping my ears tuned for any odd sounds.
Okay. How about you?
I'm just following along, paying attention to what they're doing.
Okay. Are you drawing a weapon? Are you trying to go stealthily?
I'm probably gonna take out my short sword just to be safe.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and go back into stealth.
Okay.
Are there any other
Roll that with
scents?
advantage. Okay.
Are there any other scents in the area?
There's a sort of acrid scent that you can't quite place, and a boozy, sweaty scent that you have already come to realize while you were following the dog pee must be the scent of Riva.
So I'm going to start being more concise and following the smell that's Riva.
Okay.
For a total of 19.
19. Okay, yes, you managed to stealth again. And you're still stealthed. So you guys make your way slowly and carefully through the grasses, inching ever closer to the mausoleum. Where you are at the city, the temperature now begins to drop rapidly. You're outside of the general heat bubble of people, and the air is extremely frosty. The grasses crunch beneath your feet as you quietly try to make your way up
to the old wooden door of the mausoleum.
I try to take care to step in Chris's character name.
Karen.
Lachlan.
Oh,
Lachlan.
Lachlan's footprints.
Okay.
To minimize scratching.
While I'm at the tin shine, I'm gonna step out back.
There is no back door to the tin shine.
Okay, well, to
Yeah.
the nearest clearing outside.
Okay, you can walk out the front door and be out in the street.
And would you allow me to appeal to divinity since my particular patron is a deity of prophecy and ask for clarity on the situation?
Certainly.
Alright, would that be a religion check?
No, just RP the prayer. And then roll a persuasion check.
Okay, Apollo. If ever you've listened to me on anything, and if ever I've been a good servant, I need clarity, I need to know the road. And then persuasion?
Yes.
That would be... okay. That would be a 24.
You very clearly hear in your mind, how could you abandon your party?
I felt I'd be a burden.
You are not here by accident. Do your duty with honor.
Someone had this. Fine. Could you show me the road?
In your vision, at the very corners of your eyes, as if it was dancing only in the peripheral, you see little golden sparkles. And they create sort of a tunnel at the peripheral of your vision, leading you up the street and down a back alley in the direction that everybody else went, although you had not seen them earlier. As long as you stay on the path that they followed, you'll see the golden sparkles in both sides of your eyes. If you turn one way or the other where you're not supposed to, they'll disappear from one eye or the other, depending on which way you turned.
Anxiety is going to be the death of me.
Roll an athletics check, which will ultimately determine how long it takes you to catch up to them.
I like this new dice. That is a 17. This is my new dice.
Okay.
My special dice.
It took them about a half hour up the trail. You are, however, being guided by a god, so it's going to take you about 20 minutes
Okay.
to catch up to them. So we will get to you.
We'll start like sniffing around the door and looking for windows other than that front where the light's coming out.
Now you can smell something atrocious. There is an acrid scent in the air. There's also the smell of human feces and death.
Are there any window ledges or anything?
As long as you stay a bloodhound, you won't be able to see through the windows at all. There are two windows, one on either side of the door. Even if you are in Firbolg shape, you're really only going to be able to see just kind of through them because they're pretty high up. They're not really windows for looking through so much as just decorative mausoleum windows. And they're very tall, narrow affairs.
Okay. Going to go up underneath one of the windows, and I'm gonna start scratching at the wall. Like it's a stone wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start gently
It's
scratching at
actually
the wall.
marble.
So start scratching at the marble wall and jumping up without making any noises.
Okay, while you do that, we gotta...
Does the window have a ledge or is it just straight faced?
It's straight-faced. What are you doing?
Trying to figure out a way either in or just kind of like walking around in stealth, checking things out, seeing if I can find anything.
How tall is the building? How many stories? What does the roof look like?
Those are all good questions, actually.
Okay.
I'm like a rogue.
What would have it?
As a person who climbs the eaves for fun, I would like to know. Because
You cannot get up to these eaves. They are at least 15 feet above your head. It is a very tall building, heavy wooden door. As you can see, these two tall, narrow windows. You have to walk up steps just to get to the top of it. And even if even the tallest among you is only barely going to come to here. It has a domed roof with a glass cap at the top.
How high are the windows off the
About 12 feet.
about 12 feet?
Hmm.
I have an idea. Can I talk with Teddy and Destant?
Of course. Go ahead.
I can go.
Here,
alone.
whisper it so that the rest
Yep.
of the group can't hear.
La 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 la.
It's actually kind of fun playing Carrie's anxiety a little.
That
While
would
they're
put us in
discussing-
a disadvantage if they open the
Oh,
door.
While they're discussing, I'm going to go find some
Yeah,
find a freshly turned grave and roll around in the mud from it.
Solution.
Doom, doomy, doom. Okay, you're rolling around in grave mud.
And then I'm going to make
There
us.
is no. This is not a graveyard per se. This is just the old mausoleum.
Yeah,
That window is decorative.
So
garden
there's
beds will work.
Okay.
there's what?
Garden beds will work. It's alright.
There's no garden beds either. There are a bunch of trees with sort of loam that's been piled up for years and years and years because nobody ever comes out here.
Are they stained glass or clear glass windows?
They're the old, thick, clear glass. Well, they're kind of yellowish glass windows, and they have this sort of crisscross pattern on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a
Thatched
lip
windows.
at all
No.
on the
Is that
outside
what
of
windows?
those?
Hatched
What?
windows.
Hatched windows, yeah.
Is there light, or is it dim or bright on the other side of the window?
Pretty dim. Pretty dim, as if a single flickering lantern was creating all the light at all.
That is you.
I'm calling you?
No, you are ringing, not
Oh.
me.
No.
But, honestly, I think we should just have the marks.
Okay, so I'm covered in loam now,
Sounds like a
right?
good idea.
Yes.
Going to go
Oh,
up to
right.
the door looking like a much more disheveled looking bloodhound.
Okay.
And I'm gently gonna scratch and very demurely whimper at the door.
Interesting. And with that, we're going to take our first bio break. Yeah.
All you have to do is hit the transition button.
I get it. Okay.
Correct.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Hey guys.
All right. Quick recap. Dorian, as a bloodhound, is.
Not Dorian. Dorian's over there.
I'm sorry. Darby, as a bloodhound, is scratching at the mausoleum door. Lachlan, where are you?
I was gonna go. I noticed that there was some blackberries up against the mausoleum. I'm gonna go rub them on me like I've been bruised and hurt.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go lay down in front of the door like they're my dog trying to get help for me because I've been injured.
Okay. Kenny.
Chuckling to myself because I
In approval,
sent.
keep scratching.
Well, actually, we didn't roll perception for that. I like.
You would hear me whimpering and scratching at the door.
Yeah, that. But no, I like the situation seems ominous. I don't necessarily think that somebody's gonna come out to help, especially with who we followed here. And so I silently chuckling to myself at their feeble attempts, but not having my tanky twin to just barge through the door so I can slink in behind them without drawing attention to myself. Just stay back like 5 feet or so from the, I go back down the steps because there's only 3 steps. And so thus I'm still within like 5 feet or so of them, and I just watch with.
I wouldn't be far off from me right now, would I?
No. And I've shifted my clothing so my daggers are more accessible.
Okay. And Dorian.
Would pulling my weapon, would that pull me out of stealth?
No, you can do that quietly, but
Okay.
I'll need you to roll a stealth check just to be sure.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take out my sword, and stand by the door, off to the side.
Okay.
And I gotta do you said stealth check?
Yes.
21.
21. Yeah, you very quietly remove your sword from your scabbard, and it just kind of drops down to your side. And you even make sure to hold it in such a way that it doesn't catch any of the light from the window. So great job there. And you have reached the place where the cobblestones end, and you can see the mausoleum across the field and your companions standing by. Everybody else, roll a perception check.
Including me, even though I'm laying down, pretending to be knocked out.
No, no perception check for you. Perception check for
Do
you.
we add
Well,
passive
whatever it is
perception?
you want me to roll, perception's coming out to a 22.
Do we do a passive
19
perception?
plus
We're doing
2 is 21.
21.
Would I get advantage on it just on the off chance I'd roll a 20 if
No.
for being a bloodhound?
So 21.
No, because you're facing the other way and you're concentrating on the door itself.
I got a 17.
Okay. The two of you, wait, what did you roll?
22.
You rolled a 22.
21.
All 3 of you actually see or perceive. In your case, you smell her on the wind, as Caritas begins to make her way across the field.
I'm going to yip like I'm hurt and keep scratching at the window. You know that sound that a dog will make as I'm scratching down once. I'm going to yipe like it hurt a little bit.
Scratching at the door?
Still.
The door, as you do this, actually swings open. Light floods out onto the stairs and a little ways across the field, and you can see this. What do you do?
Do I still have the little bit of gold in my eyes for the connection with Apollo?
No.
No?
As soon as you caught sight of your companions, it disappeared.
And the scene that you're walking up on is you heard the dog yipe like it was hurt scratching at the door. It looks like Lachlan is beaten badly against the wall, and you don't know where the rogues are.
There's about 2 football fields between you.
I'm more than hot footing. I am gonna enter a bit of a sprint.
Running towards the group.
Actively cutting this wench's gown shorter to allow
Is
my
there,
legs
what's
Okay.
inside the building?
You walk inside.
I stick my head inside and try and look around because there is a dim light in there, and sniff around and put my nose to it and everything to see what is where, so to speak, because I would be able to discern which scent is where very easily at this range.
As you go to do this, your shoulder bumps the door a little bit more and it swings all the way wide open now. Who is looking through the doorway? You are.
to. My eyes are pretty well locked on it.
I want to stealth
You're
into the
still
room.
too far to see, but go ahead.
I want to stealth into the room. I'm already stealthed. I'm right by the door. It makes sense for me to just
You cannot stealth into this room.
damn.
Are you looking through the door though?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and look through the door.
I'm still laying there.
You're still laying there.
Well,
Okay.
no one's given me a signal to get up,
Okay.
so
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on, so I wouldn't.
So with
You would have taken light flooding out of the mausoleum as a sign that maybe you wanted to be on your feet?
no, because
That would completely blow the fucking
that would
cover.
blow the plan.
Yeah, that would blow the cover here. I mean, I pantomimed perfectly looking beaten to hell.
And so that's where the rogues were supposed to come in.
We didn't even talk about it and figured this out if something went sideways on us.
So for those of you looking into the room, what you see is a lamp hanging from there's like a pole on one side, it's hanging from a hook, that's what's causing the light. It's still swinging back and forth. The room is made of white marble that is so old that it's sort of gray now and cracked. There's sort of arched panels. It's all made of stone. There's arched panels, 3 of them on each wall of the mausoleum. There's a big stone sarcophagus coming out from the middle panel on the back wall of the room that has the visage of the first queen, etched in stone on top of it. You can tell that the plants from outside have over the years crept through the stone, and there's bits of ivy, honeysuckle, night blooming jasmine that's also growing all around the outside of the building, also starting to grow through the cracks inside the building. And your senses are immediately hit by the body, the eviscerated, inside out, guts on the floor body of Riva the Fence. He has been completely mutilated. It has happened so recently that steam is still bubbling from his inside out entrails on the ground. And his dog is in the corner whimpering. And an old woman holding a wand in one hand and a quill pen in the other. A broom leaned against the wall behind her, standing over the body of Riva. And she looks up at all of you, just as you, Caritas, come skidding through the door, taking care, I assume, to not step on Lachlan, who's still pretending to be passed out at the door.
Kind of figuring out I need to get up, even though no one's giving me the damn signal.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the paladin walking through the door
What's the signal?
would be
Would be the signal.
would be the point where everything's blown anyway.
Yeah, they haven't had a chance to give you the signal. They haven't had a chance to respond. It's just...
I dropped the bag that had my armor in it at the door.
I mean,
I'm
technically,
wearing
I'm still in
the witch's
stealth.
gown.
Well,
Daddy's
no,
still
no,
in
you
stealth.
can't. You can't stealth. As soon as you poke your head through the door, she gives all of you a toothless grin.
Looking through the door versus poking her head. I was looking from where I was standing at the bottom of the stairs. So.
You can't see anything from the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
So if you were still at the bottom of the stairs, you didn't see any of that.
Okay. Then.
But for those of you who, the two of you, and now also Caritas, the witch looks and smiles at you with a toothless grin. Ah, the cavalry has arrived at last. At last. I suppose you won't be needing to worry about poor Reva anymore. Seems he was under the impression he could double-cross his employer. Silly games like that have consequences, though, don't they, dearies?
Can I hear her from the bottom of the steps?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
In fact, come to think of it,
In twin speak, I'm going to basically call for backup.
Mm-hmm.
okay. And
I'm obviously standing up at
you're
this
standing
point.
up and looking through the window,
Yeah.
and you're coming up the stairs to also, also
I
look through the door.
actually kind of nudged him and climbed up onto the ledge, fuck stairs, and I'm gonna be going in, drawing my daggers, because, yeah, and brain did blink. Just being prepared for battle, because,
Help!
yeah, if Caritas is asking for my assistance, it's gonna be fairly dire or intimidating to them at least.
This is not something I would ever
Breathe
encounter
it. I'm
before.
going to get a good solid fix on what her scent is and see what I can find out about her while growling and backing up. And then once I know what she smells like, so that it'll be something in my mind forever,
Mhm.
I'll shift back into my actual form.
She smells like night blooming jasmine, actually. In fact, it's a downright pleasant scent.
Just stand there watching her warily, keeping the paladin between her and I.
Can I use divine sense?
Certainly.
That would give me the ability to sense good and evil on her.
She actually registers as good.
Good?
But it's ambiguous. It's like, it's good, but it's the darkest good you've ever seen.
Okay, in that moment I am going to silently pray again. Okay, I know I'm a lot. Please, just guidance.
Nothing happens.
Nothing this time.
Nothing.
I know I'm a lot, but guidance.
Can I listen to that through Twin Speak?
You
Or
would
is
not
that
have me
being
pray for
intentional?
guidance. That was internal prayer.
Mm-hmm.
The world will not miss this puddle of offal. But you all came for this, did you not? And she holds up the quill.
It does need returned to its owner.
And yet, I do not think that you know who its owner actually is. Unfortunately, dearies, the Quill of Obscurity is no longer safe in your precious Carrington de Gale, somewhat obviously since it's in my hands. It was not Queen Marguerite who sent for it anyway. In fact, Her Majesty knows nothing of tonight's adventures. Nothing at all. She did not send for the quill.
Then who talked to Commander Kandor?
That is a very good question. I agree. However, some things are hidden in the shadows even from me. I do not know
who sent for the quill, but I do know that it is no longer safe in Erelon, and it will be returning with me to its rightful home, the Witchwood. However, I will not send you away empty-handed. I do not have all of the information you seek, but I can tell you why you have black marbles and answer the question that has been on your mind since the day you graduated.
Only having my satchel on me, I am going to take out some honey breads, the bits of rations that I had socked away,
Okay.
and break one open and take a bite myself and offer the other half. All right, let's sit and talk.
She takes the bread from you and sniffs it. Good yeast, good yeast. And she kind of puts it in the folds of her disheveled robes.
Nice.
You have manners, young lady. I appreciate that. I do. The fact of the matter is, dearies, you are all Witchwood Cavaliers. Handpicked. Handpicked for this particular assignment. It is your job to keep the delicate balance between your kingdom and mine. Our fates are intertwined. If you should fail at your duties, know this. The precarious balance of your world between order and chaos will fall apart. Each of you has particular qualities that make you alone suited to the tasks ahead. Your futures lie in shadows, even for me, and I cannot say what it will bring. But this is not the only reward I leave you with. And with this, she turns to the raven on her shoulder, and she mutters a few words. They're in a language none of you have ever heard before, or have any familiarity with. And the raven on her shoulder starts making some clicking sounds and nuzzling up against her cheek. And then flies from her shoulder to yours, Darby.
Just look at the bird and stop and listen to nature for a second and hear it out.
Friend, friend, friend.
That's all you hear.
Reach up and gently stroke its throat with the back of my fingers.
Makes a few soft clicking noises. She makes a few soft clicking noises at you.
Lenore is an ascended familiar. She is a free creature and will only remain with those that she chooses for as long as she chooses. She is not a slave or a pet. However, you can trust her, and if you treat her with kindness, she will remain cunning and faithful to your causes. Take well care of her, for she is irreplaceable. And finally, for each of you, a final gift. In exchange for not trying to kill me at the opening of the door. It only takes a few drops, dearie. Mind you, just a few. And she hands each of you a potion. And as you look at your potion bottle, you'll see a little tag, and they say, rest, health, truth, luck, clairvoyance, and understanding. Everybody roll a D6.
6.
3.
Okay.
Papa.
We get 5 potions each, you said?
No, you each get one.
1 potion?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask outright to get the clairvoyance one?
No. You have to
Okay.
roll for it.
2.
Eh. 10 million dice later.
That just means you have enough.
6.
3.
3. What was yours?
3.
3. Well, the two of you roll again, and the two of you roll again.
3.
3.
Rollies.
5.
5.
5.
2.
2.
2.
4.
Okay.
6.
Okay. All right. You are going to get the potion of rest. What this potion does is restores all spell slots as if you'd had a long rest with just a single drop. You are going to get the potion of healing. It will restore all hit points with a single drop. You are going to get the potion of truth. With a single drop, you can hear the truth behind somebody's lies. With a single drop, yours is luck. All rolls for the next 10 minutes get advantage. And you have the potion of clairvoyance, which will allow you to see a thing happening in the future or remotely in the present. You have no control over which. The potion of understanding, she will also hand to you, Dorian, and it will allow you to do more or less what Listen to Nature does for you already, which will allow you to hear animals or plants as they are. I didn't realize you had that ability when I made it. I'm sorry.
It's fair. What's the biggest tree-hugging character in any D&D game? Fearball Druid.
As soon as she hands you each the potion, she takes her broom and she taps the oval panel just behind her. And you can see what was stone shimmers and falls away. An eerie green light. I don't even want to say shines forth because it's just barely visible in the inky shadows. The shadows of trees with long spindly branches sweeps across the marble floor, and she smiles again at you. Your service tonight could not be more appreciated. Thank you, Cavaliers. She bows slightly and disappears through what was a wall, and as soon as she goes through it, is now a wall again.
Anyone else have a feeling we need to go talk to the captain? I really need a drink and a bed.
I pushed on the circle.
Nothing happens.
I agree.
Can I search the guy's body on the ground?
No, because there's nothing left of it.
Okay.
So
However, the little dog is still whining in the corner.
I am going to absolutely try to befriend it. A little bit of little bit of the last bit of jerky from my bag from my rations.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I'm going to try take one drop out of that potion bottle,
Mm-hmm.
walk over to the puppy, cast Cure Wounds
Mm-hmm.
at, what's the highest level I can cast it at? Because at second level, so look at it, characters. You've just been beaten.
I don't have any more healing left right now.
Move.
Steps back. I do want the puppy though.
So as you reach out the jerky, and you heal the puppy,
Second level higher.
you were gonna like pet it or something.
I'm going to pet it, and a more greenish natural glow would come off of my hands with, like that haze that you would see in a dream,
Okay.
and just kind of wash over the dog. $17.
Okay. The dog starts nuzzling at your hand and very gently, afraid to, but very gently takes the jerky from your hand. And when you go to pet it, his tail actually starts wiggling, his butt wiggles, and he actually is not peeing for like 2 seconds, so there's that.
Look at it, gently massage behind the ears, and listen to nature to communicate that she'll look after you and treat you right.
The dog leans his head up against your leg. It's a little fox dog.
I'm straight scooping up and oh, you would have never been allowed in the house back home.
Look over it. The messes are your problem to clean up.
Oh, absolutely.
So all this time it just
You know, like
takes a
your
puppy
face.
to domesticate you.
How
Oh!
long
I
until
think
it kittles
I think I'm gonna
for a
reach into
second?
my bag and pull out like a little box, like a little square box, and I'm gonna hand it to her and be like, here, you're gonna need this for your puppy. And inside the box is gonna be like a little tiny monocle, a little miniature top hat, and like a tuxedo.
Oh, cute!
Oh, I appreciate this. I've got a puppy. I need to buy more rations of your variety. Oh, I need to go shopping. Oh.
You're gonna just start walking back to the barracks to talk to the captain.
We do need to go to work though, so you'll have to come along. Not putting the dog down.
Okay. Okay. You guys make your way.
I pull a sack out of my sack and about the size of the dog and be like, you need hands. Here. Give it a backpack.
Whoop. Whoop. Baby carrier style.
The dog is thrilled. After a few minutes, he stops shivering. Like it takes him a minute to get all adjusted in there, and then he starts licking your face.
Hi. Grab my bag of armor on the way out and, put on my robe, my uniform robe, not my home robe.
So what are we gonna call him? Mr. Piddlesworth?
No.
But it's
You look
a
like
cute
an
name.
Isaac.
Isaac?
Isaac. I
Okay.
like that.
The fox named Isaac?
Yes.
No sense in arguing with that one. She ain't gonna fucking budge. Even if I tell her it's the name of one of my exes. She's still going with it.
Everyone's your ex.
I'm
And
not.
exactly. I haven't had an ex
We already
since
have
started
one butt
school.
named Darby.
As you make your way across the fields and back through the more ancient and beat up side of town to where the cobbles start coming together again, back through the alleyways of the timbers. A member of the Griffin, well, actually, it's a pair of them, 2 Cavaliers from the Griffin Brigade, and you know this because of the green emblems on their uniforms, come up to you and say, Captain Hansel is doing much better under the care of the clerics. Captain Candor will want to see you in the morning, but it's been a long night, and he suggests...
I have a puppy!
Oh, what a cute little fella! What a cute little fella! He reaches over, he scratches behind his ears. Captain Candor sent word for you to go to Astorwild Manor for tonight. Get a good night's sleep, and he'll see you all in the morning.
I'm gonna look for any kind of shops that might still, for whatever godforsaken reason, be open.
There are none. It's about 4:30 in the morning now.
Any pubs or taverns that are still operating?
Well, Tin Shine Tavern never actually closes down per se, but even it's pretty dead. It is open, but it is dead.
I do want to stop back at Tin Shine.
Okay.
We do need to stop back at Tenshine because those boys need their pay whether he's coming back or not.
No, that's different. Talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Going to go back, walk into the doors of Tin Shine Tavern.
As soon as the boys see you, they all immediately, raise their hands up. We ain't seen him, we swear! We ain't seen him yet!
We know, and I take my 10 from the second half of the payment and look at you.
And I got my 20 right here.
I reach over and out of your sack, pull the puppy and go, yep, this is his dog, ain't it? And start petting the puppy.
Nori, the one with the broken nose, straight peas himself.
There's been an incident, it isn't your fault. Here's the rest of your pay.
There's the 10 and there's the other 20. So there's...
Now, next time we ask you a question, do be kind enough to give us an answer.
Yes,
Without
my
the
lord.
guff. Can I go find the orcish serving wench that had given me the information?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, love. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, there you are, Ransom. I thought I might never see you again. What can I do for you, love?
Well, it's that they're petting the fox puppy. Like the new dog my friend picked up.
Oh.
I'm sure she'll be in...
That dog...
You get to determine, actually. Do you want your dog to be a boy or a girl?
We'll go with a boy.
Okay.
I'm sure he's in better hands now.
Named the poor blighter Isaac. I don't know what to think.
Isaac, what an unusual name.
Don't ask me, love. I didn't do it. But, yeah, just wanted to say thank you, so to speak. And I pull out, 10 gold and I lay them on the thing. Think I could get a beer.
Aw, lovey. She takes the 10 gold and
Good one.
gently puts it in her pocket. I've got just the thing for you. And she goes into the back, and when she comes out with a very large pitcher of a nice, thick, brown porter. It's almost as good as anything you'd find in Candleton.
Look over. Hey, Miss Prish, you gonna drink this with us then?
I don't drink, but I would
First
would
time
like-
for everything.
I would like to procure the scraps from the meat from the kitchen.
Oh, of course, of
Oh.
course.
I have a dog now, and
Yes, speaking of which, here's your kid back.
shunk back into the bag.
She runs back to the kitchen and gets the leftover stew from the night and brings out a fairly large pot of it and just sets it on the floor.
All yours, buddy.
And the dog is thrilled.
Sit there, drink my beer, hang out, and have a good time with my friends. Apparently, we're now welcome at this tavern, cops or not.
And I make my way back over to the Bedlam boys, and I said, have any of you got a, look at my bag. Oh good, my quill and ink is still here. Have either of you have a piece of parchment or paper?
Wait out, Radar, right?
Fine. I go back over to the bar. I'm looking for a piece of something to write on.
You said paper.
Something of writing.
I pull a piece of. Okay, I just pull a scroll of parchment out of one of my bags.
Okay.
I'm going to write a small missive again back home to Dad. Hey, as long as you don't hear from me in the negative, could you please give these boys a small salary to protect the people I've asked them to protect? Just a quick. Dad'll do me a quick favor of 5 gold a month to.
You are giving these thugs, these criminal thugs, money and a job.
I believe there's good to be found in everyone.
All right.
Security can make the best in even the worst people.
We're
Okay. And then I'm assuming you
I'm
hand
gonna hand it unfolded to them and say, take this to my father. I'm sure you know who he is.
You want a beer?
And
It's been a
make
day.
sure that no Cavaliers in your part
Right.
of town get hurt under your watch.
I'm just gonna sit down and drink a beer.
I'm guarding the puppy because my twin walked away from it. That's
The puppy is happily chowing on last night's stew. No question there.
Pour you a flagon of beer. I can't drink the whole fucking picture myself.
So, you guys have you well except you don't share the beer. You guys sit there. You share the beer for a while. The dog eats all of the stew, licks that bowl completely clean.
Wonderful. I'll need to take him for a walk first thing in the morning.
Un momento. Please give our DM a moment. They are having talk of stew difficulties because somebody brought stew for bio break.
Soup.
Oh, hell yeah.
Denver.
Soup. We love
So
soup.
now there is this lovely hot cheese chowder nom.
No.
ham and potato cheddar chowder.
No.
No. Oh, and sourdough bread.
Sourdough
So,
garlic bread.
French bread.
Oh.
Sourdough.
French
A
It's
lot of
Sadly
Frenchies
not.
are sourdoughs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mild sourdoughs.
Anyway.
So you guys drink your beers, and after about a half hour more, the Bedlam boys actually kind of lift themselves up out of their chairs, and
did their feet ever become untied?
yeah, your spell wore off.
It causes natural vines to interweave and they just stay that way. It's like me druid crafting somebody's garden.
But if it wears off, they can cut them out.
It wouldn't wear off. It's just a question of if they got up and tried to move, they would have ate shit and hit the ground.
It'd be like having their laces tied.
No, I guess they're stuck there
They haven't gotten
until
up.
they, in their own piss, until you release them.
Well, they're not bound to the ground. They can still stand up and try and walk off. They're just gonna fall over.
Yeah, they still can't even get to the outhouse. So yeah.
Oh. Sorry. I figured that they've been sitting here long enough for us to go all the way to the graveyard and back. They might have already ate shit once.
But do, my father will offer you a salary to make sure that your jobs are done well.
Are we going to release them?
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Okay.
untie it. And
They get up and they actually wander off to their houses. It's actually down to just you guys in the bar and the maid
and a pitcher.
and a pitcher.
Finish
I'm
it.
on the floor scratching the dog while he licks the bowl from the stew.
Finish the beer. Head back home. Probably right about the time that the sun's coming up over the eastern wall.
You guys all head back to Asterwind Manor.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you arrive at Asterwind Manor, you see this. The dagger through it, stabbed to the door of the manor.
I'm still a little distracted by the dog going to take it off the door.
I take the dagger and pocket it.
Nice.
Absolutely. I
Look, I
can
was
use
thinking
a
about that
dagger. Like
too.
straight bink.
Great minds think alike.
Ooh, oh, that feels a shame to open. It's very nicely sealed.
You want a sharp?
No, this is exactly how I would do this in character.
Pulls out a different knife to offer to help open it.
All right. Oh. Oh. You're meddling in affairs which do not concern you.
Read that out loud.
Your meddling in affairs which do not concern you has not gone unnoticed. We strongly advise that you cease your interference in our business immediately, or we will be forced to respond. Do not test the gravity of our resolve.
Let me see that.
There you are. Witchwood Cavaliers. How do they know?
Is there, when I look at it, do I recognize the seal on the wax?
No, you do not.
Is there anything that seems odd about it? Other than the message itself? And
You
the fact
can
that they know who we are.
roll an investigation check. Everybody who wants to examine the letter and try to find out what they can about it, roll an investigation check.
I'm number one again.
Holy shit.
I just rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
For
11 plus 4, 3 is 14.
Got a
Nat
21.
20.
For 21.
I got a 21.
Nice. Okay. On account of your background, you're not particularly familiar with this sort of thing, but the rest of you do notice that this is a fairly high quality parchment. The ink is clearly high quality. It was written by a practiced and educated hand. Other than that, there's not much to tell.
Maybe we should check the dagger for clues, Daddy.
Do we recognize the handwriting?
No, not at all.
No,
Yeah,
it's not
I
anybody we would have interacted with?
No.
agree with him. Let's check the dagger for clues. Let's see if the dagger has any clues on it.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check, those who want to look over the dagger.
Yep, I'm down.
13 plus
10.
9.
16.
So I went from a 23 to a 9.
Also, we'll want to do.
You had attention to the
I'm
episode
keeping
of
you on
Shiny
track.
for a second. Saw the glint on the blade.
I want to do like knowledge arcana check.
Okay, go ahead and do that too.
Black. 8 plus 5 is 13.
It is a silver dagger. It has a fairly intricate hilt. The top round bit at the end of it has engraved in the.
Would you like to use this as your example?
No, that's a wrong kind of knife altogether. Has an engraving that is, you'll notice, the same as the seal on the letter. Other than that, there's nothing particularly identifiable about it either. It is simply a silver dagger.
Can I do a history check on the seal itself?
I mean, you could, but you're not going to find anything. None of you have seen this particular symbol before. It is new. It is not a seal that you are familiar with.
Well, you know, I was looking for at least like 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep.
I was gonna say, let's go get some rest and we'll deal with the rest of this in the morning.
I say we will soon be at lower functioning capacity if we do not take a nice long rest.
The
From our
captain
activities.
said he'd be here in the morning.
Yep.
The
Well,
sun will be
so-
up. The sun's up.
We'll show the captain the letter when he gets here, but let's go get some rest.
I checked the door to see if like there's a cantrip on it now.
There is not. Do you open the door?
Yes.
You open the door, and
The house has all the candles lit. There's a nice cheery fire in the fireplace, and a young Rabbiton person.
Yeah.
Funny person. A young Rabbiton male looks up from polishing a silver decanter and goes, "Oh, good, you've arrived. You've arrived. The beds are all turned down. I know it must be late. Please feel free to head up the stairs. Your rooms are all clearly marked, and if you will just let us know what time to have breakfast in the morning, we will make sure that you are not disturbed until then."
I have a question. Did you hear anything outside before we showed up? How long have you been working in this area?
Oh, I've worked in Candleton for about 3 days.
No, like
Right.
this area of the house. Like,
Oh, well, I just came from the basement. We had to, of course, bring up new pillows and fluff the blankets and make sure that the kitchen was stocked properly. I oversee all of that, of course.
did you hear anything weird outside?
I'm afraid I didn't, sir.
Could you bring some meat scraps to my room?
Of course.
Could I ask the bunny if he recognizes the seal?
Yeah. He looks. I can't say that I do, sir, but, I mean,
Can you
it
get
looks like the seal of a noble house. Other than that, I can't say much.
Alright, well, thank you. Please don't say anything about that.
Of course, sir. My discretion is.
Could somebody please direct me towards someplace, as I'm taking off my boots and leaving them by the door, since I'm assuming they cleaned the house and everything.
Mhm.
My mother taught me better than to take your muddy boots through her clean floors without catching a broom to the side of your head.
All right.
right?
So I take off my boots, and could someone please direct me towards someplace where I can fall over that's soft?
First door on the left, sir.
Go
Up the stairs.
try and make my way up the stairs. I mean, did drink a good bit of that pitcher, and it was the good stuff. And pass out.
Knowing I'm not going to get much sleep, I am going to try to meditate and pray.
I'm right
Like,
there with
quiet
you. I
my
was
mind and
thinking
settle.
along with you.
Also set a dish down by my bed for the dog.
You're the last door on the left.
And I'm going to take off the wench's outfit and get into my normal clothes.
You're the last door on the right. You're the second door on the right. You're the first door on the right.
And I'm going to put the wench's uniform down as a wet spot for the dog.
Okay.
So I make my way into bed and I'm out instantly.
All right. And with that,
I take my boots off and I'm just gonna hit the floor. So I'm gonna fall asleep.
okay.
It's not due to being drunk, it's due to being tired. Stealth takes a lot out of you.
I pull out a pair of house slippers / they're just slip-on little padded bottom.
Wabaki, basically.
Yeah. Out of one of my pouches, and I leave my boots by the door. It serves as protection from any cold floor and muffles the sounds of my footsteps.
Nice, nice.
And then you make your way up to your room.
Mm-hmm. Stopping in the twins' room to say goodnight to the dog.
Not even the twin, the dog.
No,
gets
I'm
more
in
respect.
meditation.
No.
Teddy would have known better than to talk to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody goes up to their rooms just as the sun begins to peek over the eastern wall. With that, we are going to call it a game. So thank you all for joining us, as always. We really appreciate it. We will see you here next Sunday for another exciting episode of Nox Vitalia with John. And of course, as always, live long and prosper.
Like,
Bye.
subscribe, share us with your friends.
Oh, I want to give a shout out to Denver for the soup.
Oh yeah!
Yep.
Shout out to Denver's awesomeness for the soup.
Now it's time for cake.
Ooh.
Cake!
Cake!
And eat it too.
Yes.
Ugh.